So this is the start to the Alex and Dan podcast, which is a provisional title, depending on our luxurious fans, and we know you are very luxurious. Well, we could easily change, but today Dan and I are going to discuss basically what we want this show to be about. Give you some insight on maybe the short-term, mid-term, and long-term future of what we want this to be. Who we want. You got like Alex Jones. Are we going to be, are we going to be media personalities, or are we just going to be ourselves kind of thing? So basically what we want to talk about is not necessarily ourselves, but more about what we envision of this venture.
Right, and I feel like for this first go around, I think it will kind of be centered on ourselves because nobody knows who we are. So for the most part, the way I see it panning out is it'll be more of a conversation between us two, and then as we go on, it'll be more outward reaching, I guess, is the way that I see it.
Well, there's one way to look at it. It is our podcast, which means it's about us essentially. I hate to tell all of you viewers at home, but ultimately, we're going to discuss things that matter to us, which may or may not matter to you. I hope it does. We are very compassionate individuals, wanting to make America great again and all that stuff.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing something like this for years, since we first met. So it's kind of actually coming into fruition at this point that we can actually sit down and do something like this, despite the fact that we live 75 miles apart.
Right. Well, not only that, but since this is our first show and we haven't done anything, and the technology we're using is at least relatively, if not objectively, unanimously primitive compared to what some of the big podcasters are doing. Like YouTube, you have PewDiePie and Markiplier, and all these guys are using like soundproof walls, and they've got like the best internet connection, and they just got the bigger funding, bigger budget, bigger toys,
And we're sitting in the middle of Alex's apartment. We had to turn the AC off so we wouldn't get bleed into the microphones. Sitting on the couch with a couple cheap microphones, but it's working.
Yeah. Cheap microphones, cheap beer, and middle class America sitting here enjoying the start to something beautiful.
Something hopefully beautiful. That will be a hopefully long ride, because again, it's been something that we've wanted to actually sit down and do, because it's new in a sense for both of us, because I've never sat down and actually done anything in the realm of multimedia. I've tried recording things before, but it's more like music, not even music, just samples in a sense, I suppose. So something new, and we're always up for something new.
I'll agree with that. So I'll start with my short-term goals.
Just so people can understand the differences in voices. Right now, this is Dan talking. Daniel.
And right now, this is Alex speaking.
And now Alex is going to go on with what he was saying before I interrupted him.
Yeah, we're a couple of white guys, so obviously we're very similar, look alike, sound alike, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, my short-term goals would be for us to, I guess, establish sort of like a routine of, when we could meet, maybe actually have something planned out to discuss other than just hook it up and start babbling on about. But you never know. Maybe that's actually what we're best at doing, is just picking up the microphone and, scrolling through our news feed on our phone and saying, all right, that's what pisses us off the most. Let's run with that. Mid-range goals, I would say, maybe invest a little in some better tech, maybe a little better studio quality. I don't want to bash my living room since I live here, but it's, an 8x8 room with beer bottles laying around everywhere. So I guess it's rough. But a lot of the greatest businesses, in the country started off in their parents' garage. So why not start it off in my living room? If the AC turned off, it's 90. Well, heat index is 110 degrees outside, and you can feel it spilling over in here. Long-term goals. Well, the long-term goals are probably just to really get this thing going and to have a continual routine. Great tech, great marketing, great fan support. Like loyal. I don't want to call you guys consumers or customers or anything, but like a loyal group of people that believe in us and we believe in them, kind of a thing. Like, like if we were to upload a video within a few days, we would know, okay, this is our core group that always, watches and listens and is involved in who we are and gets involved in the show and, back and forth between interested parties.
Yeah, I think Alex and I share mostly the same goals. Long term, I think I would like to add to that would be to be able to range out more into other social media so that we can interact with people and get other people to be able to come on and talk and get other voices, so that you're not just limited to two guys sitting around talking about the same thing. Like it would be nice to have, not necessarily, I don't want to say guests because that's a little far reaching at this point because we're just trying to get off the ground at this point, but to have other people, whether it's actually being able to sit and talk verbally, or whether it's chats or Twitter or whatever, being able to chime in, and then we can take that into consideration and talk, or make other short snippet videos or whatever it may be, so that again, like you said, like a community in a sense, so that we can all kind of be able to talk openly about things, because I know there's a lot of differing views, at least in this country. Because even a lot of the people the podcasts or people that I follow on YouTube or anything are way different politically from me, but I still enjoy being able to sit down and listen to what they have to say.
And to extend on that, I don't know if there might be a stretch to put this as my midterm goal, but long term, definitely to have our own studio, as opposed to sitting on the couch and leaning back in the recliner, drinking beers. Literally. Have our own studio, soundproof at great quality. Maybe you see sometimes on ESPN they have like The Herd with Colin Cowherd and all these other kind of shows where, he's setting up there and he's got a team, not necessarily that we need a team, running the soundboard. He has a co-host, which I would consider us the two hosts. But he has like a couch with a mic and he'll have guests on. Not saying that, Logansport, Indiana is a place where, higher up elite members, the big time actors and all that stuff would want to come and be a part of the show, but at least, have like a screen that we could Skype with someone and do collaborative kind of things with bigger media companies or just bigger, wealthier, well-off, established individuals to get, just to incorporate more opposed to the two of us. Because there's only so much that two people can do, which, since this is the start, there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot going forward, but eventually we'll run out of just what we can do and have to branch off into more of what all of us can do. Like there's a WWE universe, and there can be a Alex and Dan cast universe.
Right.
So I guess we can start off by introducing the world to who we are. So currently, at the time of this recording, I have Dan and I both have degrees from Manchester.
Manchester University in North Manchester, Indiana.
Yep.
Small private school, liberal arts school.
Yep. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Economics, and I currently am an operations officer for a bank. So I've been learning to do IT, learning how business operations for a financial institution work, which would include from the very base, how the tellers process, like if you go in to make a deposit, withdraw money, how they process the tickets, how to service ATMs, all the way up to bigger IT issues of software maintenance, antivirus, all that stuff, networking, marketing. Well, that's about it, really.
Yep. I'm Dan. I have a Bachelor's of Science from Manchester University in North Manchester, Indiana. I played football for 4 years. Alex, I played with Alex. That's how we first met. we really hit it off right from the beginning. We were 2 of 3 people who lived in the dorm that were on the football team. So we spent a lot of time around each other. We were always walking back to the dorm after practice or what have you, meals with the team. So that's kind of how we met. I am essentially a social worker. I work with kids. I teach social skills, things like that. I help them get to and from different appointments, whatever. I'm bound by HIPAA laws, so there's a lot of things I really can't talk about. So when it comes to that, that's really about it. My long-term goals in life are to be in more of a management or corporate position where I'm at, because my reasoning is for the job I have, because I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice. My idea was, don't lock the bad guys up, just make sure there aren't any bad guys to begin with. And the idea is, okay, well, with my current position, I can impact maybe 4 or 5 people at a time on average. But if I'm in a management role where I can affect 8 or 9 people who are then affecting 5 people, that's 45 people I'm impacting. So I think I feel like I'd be good enough in that kind of role to where I can impact more people. So really, Alex and I we're rooted in different fields, I guess. He's economics, I'm criminal justice, social work, and those are 2 completely different things. But we still are able to sit here and talk about things together and have a full-on conversation about different things going on in the world. And we can sit here and talk for hours, which is why we decided to sit down and record it so that other people can hear it and get feedback from other people and input and things like that, so that we can get other opinions, different sides, different points of view, things like that. And that's really what I have to say on that kind of issue.
Right, and well, we don't necessarily want this show to be about what we believe.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that anyone could say. I mean, that goes to, as long as you know the word and know what it means, you can essentially just come up with any combination of words to make a sentence and push it out there and just essentially say whatever you want to say. So we want this show to be real. You're getting 2 real guys that I don't want to branch too far into politics, since it really put a huge fatigue level on this country in 2016, at least at the federal level. And then for those of you following Indiana's local state government, the candidates there really, I mean, just their commercials were awful. Really fatigued just this race alone. So we don't want this to be your typical politics talk or whatever. I mean, so some of Dan and I love to talk about is philosophy. So oftentimes, even just interpersonally, we'll be at a club, we'll be at a bar, we'll be at, I don't know, Walmart at 1 o'clock in the morning, and randomly some person will say something, and then I'll say, oh, that reminds me when Aristotle said this and this and this, or he'll say something about Plato's Republic, and it just odd how a certain situation will trigger some little piece of information that we've acquired, and that's kind of what we want the show to be. Just us, we'll follow the news, we'll do our best to cover it, the parts that we seem fit, which probably aren't the parts that Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, you name it, they're all over. They're probably not covering it. A lot of it will probably be local to the region of northern Indiana. If I had to guess, it'd be from Indianapolis up to Goshen, which practically is Indianapolis up to the Michigan border. Something local, stuff that we care about. I mean, that kind of stuff directly affects our lives. I mean, stuff out in California, it might matter, it might be devastating. The opioid crisis and all that stuff is devastating, yes, but not necessarily affecting us as hard as it is others.
And I want to interject really quick, because I agree with you, but I think once we start being able to get other people's input other people's, people from, if we ever get people from California or Florida or out in New York talking, so they can say, oh, well, look what's going on in my state. Because we don't have time to really know what's going on in every state. All we get is the news from Indiana. So when we get things from New York or from Florida or from California, and we can go, oh, well, this is how we see it, and then someone else can tell us back, well, this is how I see it, and then we can have a conversation about it. I just wanted to interject really quick so I could throw that in there. And I don't even know if you're going to get to that. So.
Well, that's right, and I'm glad you said it so I can catch my breath here. But the whole point is there are things that we care about because it's the way we live, and there are things out there beyond, our day-to-day lives that we want to care about. We just don't have the time, the ability, the energy, the finance, all that stuff to experience it in order to justify that level of caring, which is why we want to create this show, to reach out, to branch out, people in Wisconsin. I mean, there's no reason not to care about them, really. So, if we get fans up there, get fans, I don't know, Canada, Thailand, we have a good friend in Thailand, anywhere really, and they want to express their feelings, their thoughts, their concerns, they can essentially be a part of us. We're a part of them, and you can be a part of us, and it's not, then it won't become a we or a you. It's just us, like bigger than just the two of us sitting here speaking, sort of collaborative, which will lead us to, spreading information, which is important. It'll, bring communities together, help, I don't know, could be as simple as making someone feel better, or it could be as great as launching new, I don't know, businesses and literally changing the lives of people that are all around and listening and joining and being a part of a bigger group.
Right. That's excuse me. I know Alex has seen some of the videos. TJ Kirk, the Amazing Atheist. He launched a few charities. He got up, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He was able to actually do big things that actually changed the world because of his platform, because he was just able to sit there and talk to people, and he was able to expose people to different ideas and new ideas to them that they may not have otherwise heard of. So they were able to, go out and sit and think about things and say, you know what, yeah, I do want to make a difference. I am going to make a difference, and it's possible to make a difference. And it's from something as simple as sitting around and him just talking with his friends or speaking his mind. Because then he had other people giving input, and he'd be able to, give input back to them. And that just, people wanted to see that. So he was able to go, okay, I understand people want to see this. I know people are going to be able to see this. So many people saw it, and he said, with all these people watching me, I'm going to do something good with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do these different charities. He helped, different girls around the world in more oppressing areas, and things like that, which is again a long-term goal. But the idea for Alex and myself is to be able to reach out to people and do something about their current situation, whether it's helping them get water or money or whatever, or to be somebody to talk to.
Or just as simple as finding a friend. This is Alex.
This is Dan.
And we really would appreciate feedback from any and everyone. If you're just going to say, you guys suck, you're pieces of shit, you should all go burn in hell and all that shit, then just don't even bother. If that's what you're going to tell us, then we're already assuming that's what you're going to tell us. So if you tell us something good, we're like, oh, hey, this is noticeable.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
If you really do hate what we sat here and talked about, tell us that, but do not troll. Go ahead and troll, but we're not going to take in any of the trollingness.
Yeah, you know what? Just do what you want. I'll probably read it. If I like it, I'll show Dan. If he likes it, he'll show me. And if we don't like it, we'll probably still show each other and then have a good laugh, crack some beers open, kick back, and make another video. So, the train has just started, and we don't know what the track ahead looks like, if we're going to have to put, an emergency brake on, or if we're just going to turn it on high and let her run. I don't know.
Let it burn.
Yeah, turn it on high, Reggie. I want to feel the burn. Well, this is a productive first video, and we appreciate your time and effort to sit down and listen to us.
Definitely effort when you're having to listen to us, and I actually sat here and enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next time we do it.
Yep. This is Alex and Dan signing off. Take care and keep your beers cold. Goodbye.